Welcome to another story podcast. Today I'll be talking about what is the cost of not following up. And I have a really cool story that I talk about that will be super inspirational for you to look at following up as a key ingredient in your business.
My name is Cornell Ladigan, co-founder of BizVideo. The purpose of this podcast is to take you on a journey of how we use story to grow our business. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey guys, welcome to today's live. Today we will be talking about the cost of not following up. So this is a really important topic normally to salespeople, but you have to think about it this from your point of view. If you're a business owner, this is crucial because the money is in the follow-up. And I did a podcast, if you have a look back at episode number 14, 3 ways to creatively follow up. And in that podcast, I actually told the story of how I never actually used to follow up. And because I was scared, I didn't know how to follow up and so on. And in that podcast, so if you haven't listened to it yet or watched it yet, definitely go have a look. It'll be worth your while. So, and I guess the biggest reason was I didn't understand the importance of it either. Because I think if I understood the importance of follow-up, I would have put in more effort to learn how to follow up creatively. And because in my mind at that time, you'd probably think the same way. It's like, well, we just follow up with a phone call or an email and then we just normally say, hey, just want to follow up. So, but I'm going to tell you a little story. So it was almost nearly 3 years ago, so a little bit less than 3 years ago. A client just wouldn't book, right? So we had multiple meetings and so on, and I proposed, we set up a proper proposal, delivered the proposal, and then had a couple of meetings after that, and they just never booked. And the thing is, I stayed in the loop, right? So I called here and there. Hey, it's like, hey, I just want to follow up, Just wanted to see if you've had a look at that proposal yet, and if you guys have made a decision. And it's just like the worst possible follow-up I could ever do. And that was my biggest problem at that stage. It's like, how do I creatively follow up and create value at the same time? Because it's not so much just about follow up, but it's like, how do we provide value so that it actually the way I follow up, it actually improves their life. Like it's a crazy idea, and it's like, how do you even start? So that's always the problem. And the thing is, like, I sent heaps of emails and so on to this client, including bad ones, but then I did send a few good ones as well with some valuable content, in my mind. And like after 6 months of following up with this client, I was like, no, that's it. I'm going to give up. These people will never book. I really wanted to win over their business because they're an amazing business, But as you can imagine, amazing businesses are actually super busy, so there's even more reason to actually follow up with them. So one day, I decided, obviously I'm going to give up, but I'm like, I'm just going to send one more email, right? And in this email, I sent this video series of how we tell case study stories, or how we tell a story. So desire, conflict, journey, solution, results. And then the prospect called me like literally 5 minutes after I sent this email. And they said, we need to do this. We need to work together. So I was like, boom. I was just super pumped. They said, we watched this video, it made sense to us. And when we met up, to actually sign off with the prospect, the prospect said the follow-up that we did was actually amazing. So I was like, whoa, okay, that was not my intention. My intention was, just to book you guys. But anyway, if you say the follow-up was amazing, then fantastic. And the prospect said to me at that meeting, this is what we need in our own business, because there are some holes in our follow-up process. Like, how do we tighten up some of these holes? And I was like, huh? Like, you're saying my follow-up is good? And he said, like, yeah, the salespeople, like, he always gets all these sales, obviously in business, he's a busy guy. He said he always gets follow-up calls and so on. And the follow-up calls are always, hey, just checking in, just following up, and just those really bad kind of like follow-ups. And he said he just never got valuable ideas and so on. And the emails and the video content that I texted through and emailed through and everything else like that, really stood out to him and was valuable. So the thing is, if I didn't follow up with this prospect creatively, let's just say I didn't follow up to begin with, what was the opportunity, the possible lost opportunity? So you're thinking, well, it might have been a project, right? Because we didn't get the sale. And, but the story goes on. So this client has been a client of ours for nearly 3 years. I'd say about 2.5 years or so. And we've been doing some amazing work for them. We've actually created over 30 videos for them, which is just amazing. And not only that, they've referred 2 good companies to us. And the great thing is these 2 companies have now referred 12 more companies to us. So now we're like, wow, if I didn't follow up creatively with this one prospect, where would all these other projects have been? Like, we would never have had these opportunities to actually create these projects and so on. And these referrals that we got given, like the 2 to start with and then the extra 12, they were super warm. We literally presented the proposal and most of them actually just booked in a meeting our very first meeting. So just when we have that strategy call to start with, where we qualify and seek opportunity for both parties, like a win-win, present our proposal, and they said, yep, let's roll. So not only is it like we got heaps of projects out of it, but we actually got, it was just like an easier type of, the referral just fast-tracked that relationship. So it was just awesome. So if we had to combine those 2 companies and the 12 companies that they also referred, I did quick maths before and I wrote down, we did over 90 projects for all these companies combined. So how crazy is that? And the thing is, these companies are not going to stop. These are all companies now that we're doing ongoing work for. So think about it from like your point of view. You might be in a completely different industry, but the concept is exactly the same. Just imagine just for 1 second, we don't create videos for companies, but we do something completely different. Let's say, for example, we build houses. Like let's just say we do commercial building, right? The same thing happens, right? Because if I didn't follow up this project, they wouldn't have booked. They wouldn't have referred us to 2 more, and those 2 wouldn't have referred us to the other 12. So now the thing is, we've got a very clear path. Like this just made and this is not the only story, but I just want to tell this one story today. This is not the only story where follow-up actually won us heaps of work. We basically get new projects every single week because of the actual follow-up and the creative follow-up we do. And now we just see that as normal most of the time. Because the thing is, most people are not ready to be, when you first have that initial meeting or that first initial phone chat, or even that moment when they come onto your website, they might not be ready yet, right? So now the thing is, we've got a clear path on like how we follow up. So let's start with the people that, they haven't inquired with us. We don't know them yet from our side. They only know us because they're roaming around our website, on our social media channels and everything else like that. They're seeing our videos and our content that we put out. Now, how do we follow up with those people? So we've got a really simple process, a really simple process and system in place, and that is like video remarketing. So what we do is every time they go on social media channels, doesn't matter where they are, they will see our videos pop up, extra value type of content. And so that's how we follow up with those people. How about the people that have converted into a lead, but we haven't converted them into a strategy session or a qualification kind of like call or meeting just yet? Well, we follow up with them through like an email drip campaign where, when they become a lead, an inquiry, they actually get nurtured through this whole process where we send valuable content and valuable videos to build up that relationship. So that's how we follow up with them. And then the other thing is once we've booked a strategy session or like a meeting with them and we've gone through the meeting, at that time they might not be ready. So we've had people book after a year and a half after we proposed to them. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably had the same thing happen to you. But it's my responsibility to actually follow up with these people and keep in contact and build that relationship, and not just pick up the phone and call them and go, hey, just want to follow up. Like, it's not gonna work. Trust me. So, in saying that, we've got a full follow-up strategy. So, for argument's sake, the people that come into a meeting, we've got a complete mapped out strategy as to what type of content can we send them, what can we do to advance this relationship, and also when they are ready to go ahead, that we are the one that they're thinking about. So we're front in mind. So how do we do that? Now the thing is, we actually do this. We help our clients do this as well. So we normally start off with the foundation. So that's like an overview film, case studies, and content videos. Those content videos might be around false belief, kind of like breaking videos, to educate. And the great thing about those videos as well is you can use that as part of the follow-up. And then stage 2, that's when this whole follow-up process happens. So this is where we get together with our clients, normally back there with the big whiteboard, and we start mapping out what would their follow-up process look like from a strategic and big picture point of view. What do their prospects look like? What's important to them? What are some of their false beliefs that they have that we have to help overcome? Because if we overcome those false beliefs, they'll actually turn into a client. So we map out all these different things, right? That's really, really important. And then what we do is map out number one is an automated follow-up system, right? So that when they become a lead or whatever, they go automatically through this whole process and they get nurtured through the entire process. And then the second thing is, okay, well, how do we create a manual follow-up process? So it's where our clients actually have to pick up the phone and give them a call, or go for lunch, or send them a note, or send them this video personally as a text message or something like that. So we combined automation with manual, that human touch, because I'm not sure about you, but most of our clients, especially here on the Gold Coast, they are, it's a little bit, everything's a little bit slower here. So what I mean by that is the capital cities and so on, people a little bit, and especially like over in America, everyone's really switched on with new technology and everything. And they still like the human approach over here. And I'm sure it's the same all over the world, to be honest. I might just be, making up some stuff here, but those are just some of my assumptions. And they might actually be false beliefs, something I've got to overcome myself. But so, we've got one particular client that we're mapping this out for right now at the moment, and they are a massive relationship-based business. So they need to actually talk to their clients and so on. So how do we create a system that actually reminds this person? Because the thing is, they get a whole lot of inquiries every single day. And I don't know about you, but I have about, 1,000 leads that I'm working on at the moment. Like, it's crazy. We can't handle all those leads. So in my mind, it's like this pipeline is extremely full. How do we keep nurturing everybody, right? Create value to all these people and still keep sane in our own head so that we don't go crazy. So that's where you do need that automation side of things, and also reminders. So the automated system is supposed to send you some reminders and so on, so that you go, oh yeah, I've got to actually follow up with this person, give a quick call or whatever. So I want to invite you. I want to propose something. If this is something that you're interested in, you might have, I always use this analogy, you might have a bucket, right? Your business or your sales process is like a bucket, and new leads get tapped into this bucket. Now your bucket might have big holes everywhere, right? That means you're missing out on some deals because some leads are actually just flowing out, and you might have that type of bucket, that type of business right now. And if you need some help just to fix up some of those holes and create a better experience, a nurturing experience for some of your prospects, I'd love to invite you to just get in touch with us, and then we can have the conversation about how do we actually map this follow-up process out for you. So I'm happy just to give some free advice, some free ideas to start with, and if it makes sense for us to work together, then we can go along that path. Again, like I said, I've got about 1,000, probably more, 1,000 plus prospects, leads in my pipeline at the moment. So it's all about, for me, it's all about just expanding that pipeline as big as possible, planting seeds here and there, and even just doing like videos and podcasts like this, where I plant seeds everywhere. So yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. Just remember, some key takeaways. The cost of not following up could be massive. It could be more than that prospect or that deal that's in front of you right now. It could mean a lot of referrals or ongoing work for your company. So definitely have a look at that. See where there are some holes in your follow-up process. Have a look at how you can creatively start following up with people. And this podcast was all about just giving you some ideas and really some inspiration to really look at follow-up as a really like a key ingredient in your sales process and marketing process. because you spend a lot of dollars in marketing and so on, but you still need to convert those people, those sales. So hope you've enjoyed this podcast. What I would love you to do is, if you're watching this on YouTube, go press that like button right now, the thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit me up with a comment. I'd really appreciate that. And then if you're listening to this, definitely make sure you subscribe on whatever podcasting platform you listen to this. And then also, if there's an opportunity to review, I would love your feedback through a review. Have a fantastic day.